Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's a daily woo. I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever done a very disgruntled, inaccurate drum beat between the Daily Woo theme song before. But that's a first. We're doing a driving vlog, driving around. Sometimes I do these vlogs where I'm in my van. The van that kind of started this whole Adam the Woo thing on YouTube. This van that I have slept in countless amount. If I tried to count how many times I've slept in this van in different states around the great US of A and into Canada and also in Mexico, that's even crazy. So all over, internationally, this van has been slept in by myself and slumbered in the back by me and in the parking lot of cold Walmarts, freezing cold in the mountainous regions and the desertous regions and other things. So how fitting is that this vlog is actually going to happen, this discussion, this announcement, not announcement, but this answering of a question that is always brought up to me in comments on videos and when I meet people in person. A lot of people, well, not everyone, it's a very small percentage of people that ask this, but I wanted to address the fact of how people always say, how does Adam afford to travel? People have always said, Adam had a rich relative die, which is not true. No one in my family gene pool and no one in my family tree or my family crest ever had more than 2 dimes to rub together at one time. Now, I use that term figuratively, but my whole family has always been, as far back as I could tell, lower middle class at best. So basically have no rich relatives that have passed away. I have had relatives pass away, but they did not have any money. I did not receive any money. My parents never received any money. And my parents are still working. At this day and age, my parents are in their 60s and they are still working and no sign of retiring. So my family has always been people who were always hardworking, never had a lot of money, and I never had a lot of money. And for 20 years, I worked retail. I worked in grocery stores. I worked at a feed store. The last job I had was a feed store that I worked for 5.5 years. Before that, I worked at a place called Office Max. I worked at a place called Winn-Dixie. I worked at a place called Publix. I worked at Kmart. So for 20 years, from the age of 17 till I was 37 years old, which was about 3.5 years ago, I decided that I would quit working and that I would move into this van, and I'm going to post the link to a video that I did. I actually documented this on the Adam the Woo channel way before I had any subscribers. I knew that I would look back on that event either fondly or non-fondly, with regret or without regret. I would look back on that occasion. I want to document that historic occasion, and I'm going to post the link to the video. I called it Van Dwelling. I think I called it Adam the Woo Van Dwelling, and it was a van dwelling experiment extravaganza that I was embarking on. And it basically all stemmed from this saying, live simply. And I've had this in my van for a very long time. It's like a little bit of like a metal plate that says, live simply. So I'm going to talk about how I'm able to travel, how I started traveling. So I moved into my van. Please watch the other video. If you want to pause this first, watch that other video that I will put the link down below, or afterwards watch that video. You can kind of get an insight on how I started not filming videos, because while I was working at that feed store, I would work during the week, Monday through Friday, like banker's hours type. Even though I wasn't a banker, I was slinging feed. I would work during the week, and then on the weekends, I would go out and I would film with this very shoddy $80 or $90 camera that looked basically, people always say, did you film that with a potato? That is basically what I was doing. I was basically taking something out of the soil that looked like a potato and filming with it. That is the quality and the graininess. And I started to develop some subscribers that way. Not very many, but I did not have a lot of subscribers. And basically what I did is I worked during the week, and then on the weekends, I would film, and then during the week after work, I would get off work at 5 or 6 o'clock. I would go to my apartment and I would be editing the footage that I had actually filmed on the weekends, and I would edit that up on the TheDailyWoo channel, which still exists. All that old footage, you can dig back and watch all those old videos of what I was filming while I was working at the feed store. And then I decided I'm going to sell everything I own, sell everything from my apartment, and the only thing I kept were my bass guitars, my bass amp, because I was playing in a band at that time, and my camera and my laptop, and 2 duffel bags full of clothes. That's right, that's all I had in my van, so everything in my possession fit in this van. And I continued working for a little bit longer, a little while longer, until I paid the van off. As soon as the van was paid off, the next following work week, I put my 2-week notice in. I saved up 2 weeks of money that I did not have debt on because I paid the van off. I did not have credit cards at that time, so I paid everything off. I had 2 weeks of savings, and I hit the road. I hit the road around this time, just shy, less than a week shy of Halloween 2011. So it has actually been 4 years. This is the 4-year anniversary of this saying that I actually embarked on, the Live Simply saying. And I hit the road with probably only $300 or $400. That went very quickly in gas in the van. And if you've ever looked back and you've seen those old videos, the videos from I call it my 2011 trip, the end of 2011, which is what I consider to be when I actually started doing YouTube, quote unquote, full time. And what that means is, even though I was filming stuff when I was working retail, editing it on the weekends or filming it on the weekends and uploading it, I was just kind of temporarily part-time. I was not dedicating my 100% attention to the videos, but that all changed 4 years ago, late October 2011, when I embarked on a historic journey. I went to Ghost Town in the Sky. Maybe you've seen that video. I went to Six Flags in New Orleans, the abandoned Six Flags. I went to the filming locations of Friday the 13th, Part 6, and about 10 other videos. The Wizard of Oz land up in Beach Mountain, North Carolina, and a bunch of other ones. Since then, all of those videos have gained a lot of views, and that kind of jump-started my motivation for wanting to travel and film and document and bring happy, good things into the world. And the way that all started was, I thought to myself, I should put this out there. If anyone enjoys this, maybe they will help me along the way. So I started this thing a long time ago on my website. It was called the donate icon. Remember click the donate icon? So basically what would happen is I would be sleeping in my van in the freezing cold early Novembers in the mountains of Tennessee, filming the Evil Dead filming locations back in late November, early November of 2011. And I would wake up and I would have a $10 donation. Someone who watched my videos, a very kindred spirit, would say, I really want to help fuel the woo. I want to put $10 or $20 in Adam's gas tank. And that is how I got through that trip. If it was not for those people helping me, I would not have created those original videos. Now, I was not able to go eat at a McDonald's or a Burger King. I was not able to go out to eat. I had to sleep in the van. I never got a hotel room. I was sleeping in the van, and I was eating bread, and I was eating peanut butter and tuna fish and things like that that were very super cheap and affordable from the dollar store and Dollar Tree and places like that that I could eat. And all of that stemmed because of the Fuel the Woo, because of your guys' help, because of those people that saw something back in the day and thought, man, this guy's got something, this guy's on to something. They thought that I was actually doing something that was actually should be promoted and should be done, I guess you could say. So I really have to really thank all those original people that helped me out and got me through that road trip. I returned back home to St. Cloud, Florida. My parents lived there, and the reason I went back to St. Cloud, Florida after that road trip, even though I was sleeping in the van for almost a month straight, 3 or 4 weeks straight filming videos, I got back to St. Cloud because I wanted to spend Thanksgiving, which is the end of November, with my mom at her house, and I wanted to come back from there. So I got back from there, and then I went on another road trip after Thanksgiving and the holidays, and I drove down for a couple weeks down to Key West, filmed some videos down there, and kind of relaxed and stuff. So that's basically how I got my start. And People always ask, this is really what I wanted to address, is how do you afford to make videos? So we talked about how it started, and people are always asking to this day, how do you afford currently to actually travel and film? Well, a lot has changed since those days because the internet has blossomed into a circle of goodness, and I actually have way more subscribers now than I had then. There are ways you can make money on the internet. One way is promoting yourself, which I have a pretty decent amount of people who follow me, people who call themselves fans, kindred spirits, whatever you want to call yourself, friends that I have either met or not met yet. And because of merchandising, hats on adamthewoo.spreadshirt.com, t-shirts on adamthewoo.spreadshirt.com, that has really upped the plateau of actually putting gas in this van and also booking plane tickets and flights and cheap hotels when I travel, wherever it is that I travel. And people always say, there's no way that t-shirts could actually fund a trip. The last trip that I went to Orlando, the last two trips actually, I went last month and the month before when I went down to Walt Disney World. And that's another thing. When people always ask, how do you afford to go to Disney every day? It's because I purchased an annual pass. Before the price increase, I actually purchased an annual pass coast to coast. So when I go to the parks, I don't have to pull my wallet out. I like to just show my card and I go in. It's basically not really free because I paid for it, but it's out of sight, out of mind. I can go for 365 days. So I paid for that up front and got that out of the way. So a lot of people do ask about the whole, how do you get into the theme parks thing? Knott's Berry Farm, I have an annual pass too. So the plane flights, people always say, how do you afford these exorbitant plane flights? Well, I'm actually very patient. I have a very patient mindset. And basically what I do is I just look for the cheapest flights in advance, a month away, a month and a half away, and I search daily. I try to search on Monday and Tuesday nights when plane flights are a little bit cheaper. The last two times I've flown to Orlando, I have flown round trip with no layovers for less than $200 there and back, which is a heck of a deal because the last Orlando trip I did, I got 9 main channel videos. 9 main channel videos that I uploaded from Orlando, some around Walt Disney World, some around the Orlando area. So that was actually very beneficial, and it was actually a good investment because also the way YouTube works is, you put ads on your videos, you can what they call monetize certain things. So I get a little bit of money from that. It's really not a whole heck of a lot. The t-shirt sales is really what drives all that in. The way t-shirt sales works is Spreadshirt charges you for the t-shirt and the print, and then I mark it up a few dollars, so every time you get a t-shirt on TheDailyWoo.spreadshirt.com, a little bit of that goes into my account, and then every 3 months I get a lump sum from the plethora of t-shirts and kindred spirit folk that are out there who are actually helping fuel the woo, fuel the van. So that really helps out. Credit cards are a big help too. I will rack up the credit cards, and then I will pay the credit cards down when I get those t-shirt sales, and I get that little bit of money from YouTube, etc., etc. And that is where the Patreon comes into play. Where does the people say, "Oh, you're asking people for donations"? We're all helping you. You're asking people for donations. We're asking people donations all the time. The reason for the Patreon, I actually battled with this for a very, very, very long time. I've talked about this in the past. The Patreon thing came about because I wanted to start doing more filming locations. Now, if you notice, if you watch any of my 50+ filming locations on the Adam the Woo channel, you will notice there are no ads. There are no ads anywhere on those videos, except for 1 or 2 that the studios, like Universal Studios, I think they tagged or they put an ad on the Back to the Future 2 filming locations, and maybe 1 or 2 other ones that the studio says, oh, he used some copyright material, so we are going to take his video, leave it up, but in exchange, we are going to make some money off of his creation using our product, which is totally fair as long as that video can stay out there in the universe and can be seen. So the filming location videos, I do not make a dime on, and I say that very interestingly because I just spent the last probably 40 hours, almost a full work week of filming. I went to Los Angeles with my friend Tyler Evans, rock journalist, on Saturday. We spent 14 hours filming a filming location. Then I went back 2 days ago with my friend Count Stankus. We filmed even more for that filming location. So I probably have about 20 hours of filming in for the filming locations that I have been editing for the last 3 days. So far I have about 40 hours of work, if you want to call it work. I do not call it work. I call it basically something that I really want to just put out there, something that I'm very fond of, and basically a labor of love. But I have a full work week, what I used to do working at the feed store, throwing feed, or working in a grocery store that I took 40 hours to do. I have that much time so far invested in the video that I will be uploading tomorrow or tomorrow morning or tomorrow night. My Halloween video that I'm going to be doing, Halloween themed video that I'm going to be doing. So you guys, that's pretty much it. That's how the filming location videos go. Now, other videos, I do make a little bit of money. This guy is very angry over here. Hold on a second. Look at this guy right here. There's a guy over there. He's very angry. He just threw a cup in the road. He's walking past that school. I think he might be a little bit disgruntled. He threw that cup in the road. He's yelling and screaming. We're just gonna just pass right by that guy. So the Patreon I started because people said, you know what, we have enough t-shirts, we have enough Adam the Woo shirts. We do not want any more Adam the Woo shirts. And I understand that not everyone wants a dozen shirts to help fuel the woo. So I started the Patreon for that reason. The Patreon is it's raising up considerably. And the Patreon helps also put gas in. The last Orlando trip that I did actually was funded. My rental car, which was about $170 for 10 days, which is a heck of a deal. And my hotel, I didn't stay in a hotel, I stayed at my mom and dad's house, so I didn't have to pay for a hotel. So I stayed in their guest bedroom, and then the flight out there was less than $200. So the Patreon, adamthewoo.patreon.com, I think it is, funded that entire trip. So everyone that has helped, a big, humongous thank you for the Patreon, because without that, it would be much, 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 much more difficult to be doing what I'm doing. So we have a lot of different avenues. We have the ads. We have the way YouTube pays you, a few pennies on the hundreds of thousands of views you have to get. And then also the adamthewoo.spreadshirt.com and the Patreon. I've always said that I prefer that if someone was going to support what I am doing, if they like what I am doing, that they would actually buy a shirt instead of donating or using the Patreon. But it's up to you. It's your discretion. The beautiful thing about all this is you don't have to watch these videos. I am not going up to your door, knocking on your door and saying, hey, I got a new video. Check this video. Please watch this video. I have always just put things out there, and everyone that is watching this has found me on their own accord. I have not spammed or promoted or done anything outside of my social media and my own videos other than being in other people's videos. I have not handed out business cards, handed out flyers, gone on message boards and promoted my stuff. It's an organic growth, and that's what I love about it, because I was in a band for so long and doing it in the non-organic way, flyering, going crazy promoting. And all of this is way more organic. You found me on your own accord, and you can leave on your own accord, or you cannot buy a t-shirt on your own accord, or you cannot go to Patreon on your own accord, or you can just do whatever you want on your own accord. This is a free country to watch these videos, and other countries are free. Not every country is free, but most of the countries that are watching this vlog are probably free countries. You have the ability to do what you want, and I have to be very humbled and very thankful that you have tuned in for this long. You've been this supportive. So that is basically how I fund trips. That is how I travel. I am not rich. I probably have $1 in my wallet right now, and maybe $3 in quarters right up here that I will use to go buy a Mountain Dew. I'm actually running on very limited gas. Look at this. I'm almost on fumes. That right there. Pretty much I'm on E right now. I'm on E. So I am not rolling hard. I don't know if that is the terminology. I am not a baller by any stretch of the imagination. I do not have a fat stack of cash rolling around in my wallet. I'm pretty much living week to week off of what I am making off of the t-shirts, etc., 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 and the ads and things like that. So we're still on a mission. I am still on a mission to put goodness into the world. And like I said, if you're not on board, if you do not like these videos, please don't watch. If you don't like me, please don't watch. Move on. There are a million other YouTubers doing what I am doing similar things. Search the interwebs. There are tons of people doing what I am doing. If you do not like something, if you, I hate to use the word hate, but if you have a hatred for what I am doing or my personality or something about me that you do not like, then move on. You are not required to watch these vlogs or the Adam the Woo channel main channel videos. Thank you so much to everyone who gets it. Thanks to everyone who is on board and watches these videos. Also, let me talk about the YouTube ads. A lot of people say, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to start making money. I'm going to start making money. And I have a lot of friends that do that. And I wish them all the best, anyone that's out there doing YouTube. I had this weird philosophy, I don't know, it might be a smart philosophy, but I had this philosophy that I was not going to put any ads on my videos to a certain point. So if you guys know the ins and outs of YouTube and the way monetizing things work, I did not start putting any ads on anything on my YouTube channel until I had 7,000 or 8,000 subscribers. My whole reason for that is I always did not want people to stumble on a video that they might like of mine, see an ad, and then disregard the video and X the video out and not watch it. So I stuck to my guns in the beginning. It was very hard in the beginning. It's not so hard now. Now I'm actually, at least I know I have a little bit of money coming from the t-shirts, a little bit of money coming from that Patreon account, a little bit of money coming from YouTube. So all that correlation of those three things keep me moving, keep me motivated, and I have you guys to thank. Those from the beginning, those who have recently found me, just a big, humongous thank you. But it all started because I wanted to live simply. I wanted to quit my job. I wanted to film videos, put videos out into the world. That is kind of how it all started with this saying, this live simply saying right now. And it's weird, we just pull up to this light and I thought my van was actually, you could probably see the horror on my face. My van started to like shake a little bit and I thought, man, my van, that would be an epic ending to this vlog about living simply when my van runs out of gas. Oh yeah, free shipping. I think today's the last day for free shipping on adamthewoo.spreadshirt.com. Got some good stuff coming up. Really considering this whole Vegas trip, going to Vegas, probably in about a week and a half, 2 weeks from now, going out there for 3 or 4 days. So I will post, if I decide 100% on that, I will post a video, ask you guys for suggestions for Vegas. A lot of people have already chimed in about that. This is a very long-winded vlog. Thank you for watching. Remember my other channel, I will have a Halloween-esque video uploading. I might upload it tonight, but there's probably more of a chance that it will be uploaded tomorrow. I have been editing nonstop. I've been pulling my hair out editing this video. It's going to be a doozy. I'm very happy about this new main channel video that I have coming up. All right, I talked way too much. I love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow here on The Daily Woo. Bye.